Hey, this is Sarah, and I have a little quick ordinary haul for you guys. So I picked up a random bobby pin. I picked up a few things. Yes, yes. Continue working with webcam audio. Blah blah. It's the only audio you have. I picked up a few things from The Ordinary a few months ago. I've been really enjoying them, and so I was already running short on the buffet serum. So, what did I get the first time? I got the regular buffet, the caffeine eye gel. I can't remember if I did a video. I don't think I did. Just because I really wasn't sure how it was going to go. A couple things. I was really concerned because I kind of fell in love with the products, and a girlfriend had asked me about it, and I was like, I kept thinking about getting them, but they were having such a problem with keeping things in supply that I would like find the things that I would like, that I would be interested in, and none of the things that I wanted were available. And it was really great because she happened to then remind me that I really wanted to try some things, and like every couple months I would go back and I'd be like, well, what did I want to try? I wanted to try the buffet, the serum, and I'd been really interested in the caffeine eye gel because it was so cheap. Um, Long story short, I really love it. It soaks in really, really well, and it's very hydrating. I don't really notice that it's helping with my dark circles all that much, but I do notice it helps with the puffiness, and I think if I kept it like in a fridge, it would probably help with the puffiness a bit more, but meh, whatever. So I got the buffet, their hyaluronic acid, I think the one plus B5, I can't remember, their alpha lipoic acid. Um, yeah, buffet, caffeine serum, alpha lipoic acid, and their hyaluronic acid. I got those for the first. Really enjoyed it. I hadn't tried a lipoic acid before. I guess it's just an alpha hydroxy. That's cool. Um, and so, yeah, I was really into it. The buffet serum is really great. I find that if I put that on and I don't give enough space for that to kind of like soak in, if I do the lipoic acid afterward, it does that weird pilly thing. It's weird because like it does it initially and then it all eventually seems to absorb into your skin. I have no idea. I know that some of them don't necessarily work with the other ones because some of them are water based and some of them are silicone carried. So I try not to mix the two, but inevitably I mess up. So, oh, also because FCC is not sponsored, I bought these things with my own money. The Ordinary doesn't know who I am. They don't care who I am. But this time around, I bought 6 things. One thing I was really excited about because they were doing it in one of the higher up DCM brands before, and now they're doing it under The Ordinary. So I don't know if they're still doing the other one. And that's the multi-peptide serum for hair density. Comes in one of their UV bottles. That's the other thing I really like is, like, I generally, anything like this, I tend to keep all of my skincare in the dark, if you will. Like, I keep anything that I keep, like, on my bathroom counter. My bathroom doesn't have a window, and I'm not somebody that leaves lights on, although I left the light on in there and I can see it. It irritates me. I'm one of those people, like, if I leave a room, if I'm leaving a room, it's really dark in here. You know what? Let me turn the lights on. You may see some mess behind me that I'm currently having a construction issue. Is that better? That looks a little bit less conspiracy theory, doesn't it? Also, I put on foundation and then I didn't put on mascara or eyeliner because I couldn't grab those handily. I'll explain the foundation in a moment. I did put on lips. Put on lips. I don't know how even I got them, but I put on lips. Tried to do a wet set. Didn't let it sit long enough. Still gave my hair some body. I don't know. That's what's going on. That's what's going on today. So yeah, it's essentially like it's like a hair oil serum thing. I don't know if it's gonna do anything, but I'm 35 this year. I have been a constant wearer of ponytails since I was a young girl, and so I'm noticing And I don't know if it's because of that or because I started on Synthroid this year because my thyroid is starting to fail me because I'm turning 35 and so everything's falling apart. So I don't know what's going on there, but I'm getting breakage, and I honestly, once I started like learned about tension breakage and that kind of thing, I realized I've probably been having this for a while because I always have these little fine hairs. It's even coming from right here. So I don't know if it's gonna do anything. I don't know. It was like $8. And unlike Rogaine, it didn't come with a bunch of warnings that, like, if you get pregnant, you'll have some sort of mutant seven-armed baby. I don't know if that's what happens if you get pregnant with Rogaine. I have no plans on getting pregnant, but it was mostly like things like that, and I was like, oh, it's very strong warnings, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I care if I go bald that much. I mean, I kind of do, but I'd probably just get a wig. I don't know. Anyway, so I don't know if this is gonna do anything. I used it for the first 2 days and then immediately had to switch rooms that I was living in because there's a leak at my window. And so my bedroom is currently torn up and I'm sleeping in another room in the house. So this is, all of my things are in a different spot than I am. And because I normally do like my skincare and something like this, like I was doing this right before bed. But you apply this where, like at the roots. So I've just been putting it sort of along my hairline at the front here. Everything else, it's fine. It's just these areas of my temple, and I've had a pimple that's just kind of massive and made a dent in my hairline right here. So I've just had like just a small bunch of spots that have just like nice and just like decimated my hairline just right here, just right there, and it's healing up, but it's yeah, so I don't know, it might work. If nothing else, it feels really, I had a couple of spots of like just dry, flaky patches right there just because it's been very dry. And so it helped with that. So if nothing else, it helped with the flakiness. I also done some major rehaul on my shampoo routine, and so I have one more thing I think I'm going to try, and then I think I'll probably bring that to you guys. The next thing I got was the bee oil. So The Ordinary has started carrying marula oil. Now, marula oil, if you're not familiar, is the same kind of oil that Drunk Elephant sells. All the major skincare brands, they have like one oil. They kind of depend on, like Josie Maran. She's very like argan oil, and then Tarte does maracuja. So for Drunk Elephant, I'm gonna put you down a little bit. I feel like whatever I'm holding is out of frame. Look at my disaster of a living room. There we go. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. Anyway, so one of the key parts of this is marula oil, but there's a bunch of different ones. I'm pretty sure sea buckthorn is in here, and it's just a bunch of different oils. I'm going to give this a try. It was sort of like, I didn't really want to, in this round, get 2 oils. And since the company doesn't look like it's going to be shutting down, it looks like they've kind of figured out their legal troubles, whatever's happening there. And unfortunately, their founder passed away last week. No idea what's going on there, if it's in connection to what's going on and what has been put to rest with the legal stuff. I don't know. But it looks like the company is going to be sticking around. So it's a really great business model. There's no reason why at least The Ordinary, out of all the brands they carry under that umbrella, shouldn't do well. I know the DCM stuff does well. I know they have a couple of like really great. If you're not familiar with The Ordinary in general, DCM, from what I understand, is like the parent umbrella company, but also has a skincare line, but they have like 4, I think, different levels, and they have like a hair care arm, they have a gentleman's arm, and then they have like, I think it's 3 levels of skincare. Sort of, The Ordinary will be like the most basic, so you can get, things like a specific acid, and then and that'll be like, like a 10% lactic acid solution, and then you can do like the Step Up company, and I can't remember what that's called, and I could look at it, but it would be annoying to have to watch me look something up on Google. But I know that like it's literally like DCM is like, I think it's the 2nd level. and then there's like a third level. So like the second level will be like a like acid combination for like a weekly treatment, and then the third level will be like 4 or 5 acids together. Whereas like the second level will be like 2 or 3. So the Ordinary is doing a lot more combination products. So like the bee oil is like an oil blend, so they have things that'll be combination products, but like the most expensive thing under the Ordinary banner has been, I think it was like $17. I could be wrong. I think I remember they had one thing that was like 24, and it was like some proprietary molecule. But like they don't, nothing, generally all of their stuff sits at or below $10. So like this was like 7 something. I think actually this hair serum might have been 14, but it's 2 ounces. So, and most of their things are sold by an ounce, and they're pretty much all sold in these dropper bottles. This is 2 ounces, so it works out to, I think that's why I said it was like $7. Yeah, anyway. So bee oil, really neat oil blend. I haven't tried this yet. I'm really looking forward to it. I've been trying to use a rosehip oil up, but I think it's just, I'm not sure that it's really a rosehip oil so much as it's a rosehip blend in a carrier oil, and it seems to be really heavy for my skin. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that. I might just save it and use it for my legs in the summer. And then I got this one, and I was checking it out, and it's the EUK 134 water-free high-potency antioxidant formula. So I guess it's like a serum step. That's how I'm intending to use it. So I'm going to replace the Buffet when I run out of that with this. That's my intention. I think that's how I use this one. And I got another one that's like an eye and forehead thing. Okay. Yeah, this is a mineral blemish formula. This is the niacinamide 10% plus zinc 1% high strength vitamin and mineral blemish formula. I did look up what this is for. It would make more sense again if I brought up the site, wouldn't it? Maybe I'd do that now. No, you know what? I don't need to do that. You can do that. I'm not gonna. Yes, and then I got a lactic acid, so maybe the EUK is the I one. Maybe I didn't get the I one. No, I think that was the Matrixyl. Anyway, and then finally, the last thing that I picked up. This is the thing that I have. So I have tried the hair oil thing. Not enough to be able to tell you like if it does anything or not, other than if you have flakiness around the edges of your sort of like the edges of your scalp, you might want to try that out, because that totally, like I had a couple of spots where it was just like, it would just like, you know, sometimes like the weather's dry and like you can manage to like your scalp itself, but like there's that line, right, where like your skincare stops and your hair care starts, and like everything sometimes just goes like a little bit wrong and it gets a little like flaky or greasy. So mine was going flaky, and that fixed it, but it didn't. It's not greasy. It feels like well moisturized. It's really nice. And then I tried one of their foundations. I am in 1.1p, if that helps, and I think I want to say like 110 in the Lancome Tint et al. Yeah. So this is, I got the Coverage Foundation and the Serum Foundation. They both come in a pump, although you can get a dropper. The Serum Foundation they list definitely as like a light coverage. They seem to list this as like a medium to high coverage. I'm going to say that I feel like this is a high coverage for a serum foundation. Not all serum foundations are made the same. I know that the Bare Minerals one is meant to be and does appear to be high coverage. The only other serum foundation that I really had a lot of experience with that I loved, because it was also kind of like shade adjusting, was the Perricone No Foundation Serum, and I loved that, and I had like a deluxe sample of it, and that was like one of those never-ending jars. It was amazing, and I had it, and I used it, and I used it, and I used it, and it never seemed to run out, and then all of a sudden it ran out, and I was so sad. But that was quite light coverage, and they swore up and down that like you could cover your whole face with 5 drops. I never found that. I always found I needed like a couple of, and they probably meant like full size droppers, to be fair, which is like essentially like a sample size dropper full. But yeah, so it's really great. I really love the feel of it. I haven't set it or anything, but I will say, coming up close, like you can probably see a lot of the imperfections through. I have this huge spot because hormones. So instead of the regular spread of like just some texture and some just of spots, I was efficient this month and I just got 2 really massive ones. Yeah, that was fun because they really hurt too. That was really great. I really loved the one that sat on my jaw and then swelled up the whole interspace so much that my jaw hurt. That one was fun. So yeah, so this isn't able to cover that. I would call this, for me, I would say that this is a pretty nice medium coverage. Like it literally, like it definitely takes down like a general redness. But if you had like, I don't know, like some real dark spots or like whatever. But I really like the finish of this. Like it just, honestly, like looking at it, it has the same, it isn't changing like the look of my skin. It's very silicone-y. I wouldn't say it necessarily covers up like your pores if you have a lot of pores. I wouldn't say it's overly smoothing or blurring. But what I would say is I really like it because it's silicone based. It is really nice and lightweight. I'm not getting, you know, a lot of like it doesn't feel heavy to me, but like also I like a heavy moisturizer, I like a heavy foundation, so like I don't necessarily notice weighty products. But if you're somebody who's comfortable with like a nice layer, like if you're somebody that throws a silicone based primer on your face normally and you're comfortable with that, this honestly, so because there's always different levels, this sits and feels like a lightweight silicone primer. It smooths out really well. It I question how buildable it is, just because I find that these kinds of products with this sort of texture tend to like, if you put too much on, they just sort of almost like slide around. But you can get a solid one layer. I used, oh please, the alarm to feed my dogs. But yeah, this is really great. I really like it, and it was $7. If you're somebody who, I see, this is the thing, I don't know that I would bother trying the serum foundation version of this, because I think this is as much coverage as I normally like off of like that style of foundation. I don't like to go sort of like lighter than this because then I'm like, why am I wearing this? But like light coverage never makes sense to me anyway. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I'm so pale, so everything marks my skin so easily that like, why am I trying to put on a colored complexion product if I'm not like trying to cover these things up? Like I don't have necessarily like a lot of redness in my skin, like a lot of like, I mean, I do get flushed, but like I don't have a lot of natural redness in my skin, like a global, like a rosacea style thing. But if I did, it would probably look very extreme to the rest of my skin tone. So I'd probably still want sort of a medium to higher coverage product. So in my life, if I'm bothering to put on a complexion product with color, it's like light coverage doesn't make sense for me. I get that it's an aesthetic choice for some people and like they love it. But also I normally like a full coverage. I would say this has enough coverage that you certainly wouldn't be like, I'm having a light makeup day. Like it's not that. I really like the level of coverage. I just wouldn't say like this is like, oh, I'm having a natural no makeup day look. I love the finish of this. The finish of this like looks like my own skin. I think I did well on the color. I don't know how well you can see it, To me, looking at it, I'm happy with that color match. I wouldn't go lighter, and I wouldn't go darker. Uh, my my one thing is they had quite a few shades. They didn't necessarily. It's really hard to tell from their shades, like, because I will say, like, the shade that comes out of the bottle compared to the bottle is like it's a bit lighter, um, and I couldn't really tell from like the swatches online. And I will say that based on the swatches online, because I think especially because they show the swatches on um, on a white background, so I was even a little bit like, so about whether or not this would be light enough. Um, so like this is light, like this is definitely my winter color, like deep winter. Um, so yeah, I would say that like based on like how the swatches online compared color wise, I would say that probably if I were you, I would err on like looking at a shade, and if you look at a shade and you're like, I think that almost might be too dark for me, I would go with that shade just based on the comparison, because this looks like this is a lot. It seems not like a huge amount, but it's definitely lighter in person than it seemed like on the online swatch, if that makes sense. But obviously everybody's monitor is different, and like the brightness on mine is down, so I could be just talking out my ass. That's how I would do it. But you know, uh, yeah, because like compared to the bottle, like I would say it's almost, yeah, it's almost like a shade or two darker, the bottle to the product. So it's very hard to kind of like place it. It's not their fault. It's because this is an opaque plastic. It's yeah, it's not the most expensive packaging. Like it's filthy already. I wish it came with a lid, but I do appreciate that the pump locks. So like if you had to travel, um, I would just clean this, but then like it does turn. So yeah, I think if anybody from The Ordinary ever watched, I would say that like the one thing I would really like is actually if this came with a lid, and I understand you did the lock so that you don't have to do the lid. Like if I casually dropped this and it's locked, it would be fine, but like I don't know. I mean, it might be fine. Like honestly, when I pack things, I pack them so that they can like sit, like whatever. If this was in a bag, it would probably be fine. I don't know. Everybody's different. But yeah, so that's what I picked up. I can tell you, yeah, like I said, I haven't noticed a big difference in my dark circles, but I got the okay, so the caffeine gel I picked up at the time of year when like I picked it up, I want to say in like September, so I had a little bit of a tan for me. So also it doesn't help that of course now we're in deep winter, so my dark circles look their worst because I am pale as hell. The buffet is really nice. Like it definitely makes my skin feel like nourished and plump, and it's been really great. The alpha lipoic acid has been fantastic for the texture that I was experiencing. Um, and the alpha hydroxy that I picked up has been really great for days when, like, especially if I have just done like some heavy exfoliation and I've been like, I do, like a serum or two, and just like the moisture in. That's been really great. Um, yeah, so the buffet, caffeine, the alpha lipoic, the alpha hydroxy. Yeah, that's all I picked up last time. And then a couple of sort of like little housekeeping things about them. Free shipping to Canada on $25, and it comes out of Mississauga from what I can tell. I don't know if it's a Canadian company. I didn't look into it. Jesus Christ, I didn't do anything. Made in Canada. Do you say on here? Probably doesn't say on here. Oh, it does have the directions. Oh, that's good. As needed, blur, blur, blur. Oh. Yep, New York. Okay, now I'm super confused. So the distributor, DCM, New York, New York, but then it says London. I'm confused. Okay, so New York. This comes out of New York. But then it's also in French. What? Oh, yeah, and UV protected goggles. Blah, blah. Anyway, I don't know. I guess they're an American company. I don't know. They must have a distribution center in Mississauga, because when I looked at the shipping, it was coming out of there. Anyway, it's really good stuff. From what I've seen so far, I'm really enjoying it. My girlfriend, who also ordered it around the same time, she's really enjoying it. She's gotten her second order. I've done my second order now. As long as the brand sticks around, I would say if you've been thinking about trying it, they're getting a lot better about their supply management. So they actually have stuff that's in stock. I know that they're back at Sephora. So I noticed that the last time that they were at Sephora, and I don't know if they stopped being at Sephora because of everything that was going on, but the last time they were at Sephora, I noticed that they were pretty much constantly out of products on Sephora immediately anyway, because I was super excited, because as soon as they were at Sephora, I was like, oh, that must mean they've got some supply dedicated to Sephora, and then it just like, gone. They didn't put the whole line through Sephora either. And they had like the DCM stuff in the past. They'd had a couple of their masks. So I'm going to try some of their higher end stuff at some point in time, because they have like a clay mask that's meant to be really good. And I'm really interested to just sort of compare that against the Aztec Healing Clay Mask, which I wound up picking up from Sephora. And spoiler alert, that shit is amazing. It makes your skin feel really tight and yet somehow moisturized. And like with these giant pimples that I had, this one that was literally making my face hurt and like nothing else would do it. And I ordered it, and like 2 days later it came in from Sephora, and like this huge thing that's like swelling my jaw. Like, you know, sometimes you get those pimples and like they're a cystic one, and they're just sitting deep and just making your whole world suck, and your whole face hurts, and you're just a miserable cow about the whole thing. And then like you put something on, and it was just like it took the swelling down so fast, although it's a very intense mask. Like, fair warning, if you do get it, your face throbs. It's weird. Like, it pulses. It's actually kind of a painful mask if you accidentally leave it on too long. Don't leave it on too long. And also, probably don't use it more than twice a week, even though the BuzzFeed video showed them using it like every day for like a week and a half or something dumb. I don't know. Follow the instructions on shit. Anyway, this stuff, ordinary, really good. Like I said, I haven't tried most of it, but as long as this bee oil or even their marula oil, these, you know, most oils wind up being essentially what I've learned from the last couple of months of like looking into different things from like different oil companies, is that they're all basically buying from the same suppliers. So if I can get the marula oil, which I love from Drunk Elephant, I had a really nice size sample of that, and I used it, and it was amazing, and my face loved it, and everything was really great. It's really, really fantastic. The full size is $80 for an ounce. So if I can get the ounce from The Ordinary, and it does pretty much the same job, and it's because like everything I've seen, like it's not watered down. Like their stuff doesn't seem to be watered down. So yeah, so my next order will be the marula oil. I was just trying the bee oil because I was like back and forth about, do I want the sea buckthorn, which I know is really great in healing, which I have been trying to get hold of, and they still didn't have that in stock. Or do I want to try the marula oil? I think they had that one in stock, but it was like back and forth. Or maybe they didn't. One of those two they didn't have in stock. And then I looked at the bee oil, and it has both of them in the blend. And I think it's got like jojoba oil and other things. I don't know that it says. Maybe it says? No, it doesn't say. It does not say in here. Oh. Nope, doesn't say on here. Actually, before I go, I'm going to tell you. even though I spent, oh Jesus, I spent half an hour. Someone is going to be in the comments like, oh my god, you spent me. See, this is what I didn't want to do. And then I spelled it wrong. The original bee oil. Quotation marks. A purified form of microalgae in a blend of squalene and oils of marula, argan, baobab, patua, Brazil nut, Inca, inchi, rosehip, and borage. So I lied. There's no sea buckthorn in here. Anyway, so all those oils in here. I was excited about the marula. There you go. All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. I will let you know how long term this goes. I put this foundation over just a basic, it was really basic because it's just a pure silicone primer from Cover FX that I just finished the other day. It looks great. I just threw this on, so like this doesn't tell you anything, but I just threw this on over moisturizer. Still looks great. I mean, I'm not going to claim this is the best foundation in the world, but it was $7. And so if you needed a good everyday foundation, I would say give these skincare a try because like the bang for my buck has been really great. And I would say definitely try the foundation. I would say unless you really only want very light coverage, if their website is to be believed, then just go with the coverage foundation because the other one then would be quite light coverage. And yeah, but bear in mind that it is silicone based and like it's very obviously silicone based. Like I know sometimes you have to be like, I don't know if this one is this one. Like you'll know immediately as soon as you start putting it on your face. That said, it feels really nice and I really enjoy it. I didn't powder it. I didn't do anything to it because it just looked like my skin texture. I don't know if that, like I have sort of a semi-matte sort of skin anyway, so like I don't know how that would be for other people. Anyway, oh, I will also say getting this pump started was a pain in the ass. Yeah, that's everything. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go and I will talk to you soon. Okay, bye.